So, the mystery, the myth. So what is this mysterious thing called hypnosis? And what effect does it have on your life? Ask yourself. Let's just take a little look at a few aspects here. I have a sense that hypnosis in one form or another has been part of my life almost all of my life. Much of what happens in the world of hypnosis is already something we're already doing. We just don't call it hypnosis. So everything in the world of hypnosis is related to suggestion. So I'll mark that word and ask you to think about it for a minute, and we'll come back to it. First, what I'd like to do is talk a bit about defining hypnosis. It's really so broad, so big, so unique in some ways, and mysterious and full of myth, that it's hard to pinpoint. It's often been said that there is no clear definition. So what I like to do is take the one from the American Society of Clinical Hypnosis, and stated very simply, it says, hypnosis is a state of inner absorption, concentration, and focused attention. A few words saying a great many good things. Thinking of hypnosis in this way, it's like using a magnifying glass. It's like focusing the rays of the sun, and for me it's focusing the rays of your mind to make them more powerful. And so when your mind is focused and concentrated, you're using it more powerfully. Because hypnosis allows people to use more of their potential. Self-hypnosis is the ultimate act of self-control and also self-care. I feel like those two are very much related. In fact, it is often said that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And so, as I go along, be open to the idea that you are already hypnotized. You already have certain patterns of thinking, ways of being, and some of that was talked about in your talk. Those are the programs we play most often. That's a simple way to think about hypnosis. It's wonderful because we have the ability to load new programs and offload old ones, using this very state of deep inner concentration and absorption, slowing down the mind's, the brain's brain waves, those things that can be measured on the charts at the readings of those. I'm drawing a blank on the name of that test, but you know which one I'm talking about. So that's the first step in define. I'm going to define, dispel, and deploy. So that's define in a very simple way. There's so much material, it's been an interesting challenge to bring it down to just a few pieces. Now let's talk just a little bit about dispelling some of the myths, some of the misunderstandings, some of the ideas that might be out there. And I know this is true because I run into them all the time. Okay, these are often asked questions. The greatest myth of all is that it is something, hypnosis is something that is done to someone. Back to what I said about self-hypnosis, you are allowing yourself to relax, and you are allowing yourself to be in touch at that deeper level. It's no more possible for me to hypnotize someone than it is for me to meditate someone. It's an interesting contrast. If you think of meditation, it's pretty much a process of your own, a voyage that you take, as is hypnosis. Another myth concerns the notion of a person experiencing hypnosis as being out of control. It's very interesting. This is not true at all. Anyone who is in a deep state of relaxation and focused and self-hypnotized, even though a person may be there helping to guide them, this is still a journey the person chooses to take as deeply or not as the person is right for them. So never is there a time when you don't know what's going on and that you're not in control and that you can't come back to the room any moment in full awareness if you need to do that. So it's great to understand this because it's one of the things that sometimes I think scare people away. It's also not possible to get stuck in a hypnotic trance. You will experience when you go to bed at night, when you go into sleep, your brain waves slowing down. That place just before you go to sleep is the lovely place of slowed brain waves. So enjoy that time, and while you're there, give yourself some suggestions as you go off to sleep. Some of the very best things can happen if we do that. Not only are the dreams interesting, but your subconscious remembers everything. Okay? So the final of the three myths that I'd like to talk about has to do with the concept that only people who are weak-minded or gullible are good candidates for hypnosis. Ironically, it's exactly the opposite. The more intelligent, the more inquisitive, the more intellectually active a person is, the more they are able to connect with this way of enriching their lives. There are many ways we could describe what goes on in this hypnotic state. I like just generally to think of it as an enriching experience. Forgive me. So, define, demystify, and now I want to talk about deploying your new tools. So as we've learned about the world of hypnosis, what we take back out into our lives is very, very important. Notice for a moment that your subconscious mind is the mind of the body. So time spent there nurturing that place makes a deep connection and a deep difference to your mind-body. It's said that your mind lives in every cell in your body. You have conscious desires and thoughts. You can actually create, new patterns of neurons. And this way of creating new neurons is called plasticity, brain plasticity. Great, great deal of study about the neurosciences at this time, and that plasticity is the ability to change. I highly recommend a book called, let's see, there's several. The one I wanted to tell you about is The Brain That Changes Itself. Your brain literally becomes rewired in response to your thoughts. Powerful. Again, I'm back now to the word suggestion. If you think about your everyday life, things you say to yourself and things others say to you, all of these things are suggestions. So we're either going to pay attention and take them in, or we're going to make a choice to just let them go. So know that you live in a rich world of suggestions. I brought a little example I wanted to show you. This is a suggestion. Can you see what the picture is? This is the power of suggestion. You know, I'll let you spin your own stories for yourself about what that is about. There's an expectation about what that day is going to look like, what the suggestion is that's going on. Back in the 1920s, a gentleman named Emile Curie first wrote a book called Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion, and he put forth the most often used, brought some water, the most often used powerful hypnotic suggestion. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. You may poo-poo it, many have. It's a wonderful tool, and I encourage you to adopt it. Ah, the mystery. Ah, the myths. See what mysteries are going on and what myths are living in your mind, body, and enjoy the journey.